Welcome to another episode of the Olive Roots podcast. I'm your host, Jose Ayub, and today we got a topic. I tell you what, we're going to talk about the Kabbalah and the Occult, strange encounters with real golems, Dybbuks and Eldritch Beings. I want to share this video with you, and that was the title of it. And you can find this video on Mysterious Middle East channel on YouTube. In the meantime, make sure you hit the like button, you subscribe, you check out the merch on the oliverootspodcast.com, join our Discord, watch my film The Colonizer, and feel free to support me here, buy me a coffee, or Patreon. This is going to be a long one. I haven't watched it, so let's learn together. In the meantime, grab that popcorn, will you? Thank you for tuning in. This is my second live of the day. I did another one earlier on my other channel. So, welcome. Okay, we're going to dive right into this because this is a long video and I don't know how long this is going to go for, but let's get ready to rumble! Here we go.
The location was my home of Palestine. The year was 1571 during the Ottoman period, and the victim, the nephew of a Joshua bin Nun, an important figure at the time, who was caught in the grip of an entity that would not let go. While such supernatural instances are often attributed to the jinn, a race of human-like extra-dimensional beings made from fire, this was different. This was a creature that within Kabbalistic traditions is a member of a class of terrifying anomaly known to specifically cling to humans. Before the growing influence of European powers, 16th century Palestine was a flourishing society.
Oh, yes, it was.
With a strong infrastructure, economic stability, and most importantly, religious tolerance.
Yeah, but according to the God's chosen people, it's a land with no people for people with no land, and it was empty and bare, and we made it into what it is today. Yeah, all lies.
This tolerance allowed for Kabbalistic study to flourish within the region, an esoteric form of Jewish mysticism not too different from Sufism that was given safe haven in the Islamic Ottoman Empire at that time.
Yeah. Sufism, very close to the Kabbalistic J practices, by the way, if you didn't know. But yeah, let's see what God's chosen people have done in Palestine before it became Israel.
But it is here that the first recorded instance of this terrifying anomaly was documented. The man who conducted the exorcism was Isaac Luria, a prominent Kabbalist.
Isaac Luria. This is the guy who started the whole thing. Yep.
Through this exorcism, he determined that reality does not end at death, but could in fact be just the beginning. Although his ideas remain controversial and theologically problematic, some of those who agree with Luria's ideas via the Kabbalah faith that the entity that attached itself to this boy is evidence of a broader mystery, a terrifying through line that can be traced from 16th century Palestine to modern-day New York. This connects to a wider conspiracy that includes the creation of monsters, the summoning of demons, reincarnation, reanimating of the deceased, but most terrifyingly sex magic, and the activities of groups of powerful people who mistakenly believe that they are tapping into a cosmic horror so vast in scale, it crosses multiple timelines and realities, leaving us with a question: could their twisted interpretation of this belief risk unleashing terrible forces into our modern world?
Oh yeah, they have unleashed all kinds of things. God's chosen people, guys. So 2014, New York, Manhattan.
In October 2014, Dr. Galit Atlas, a psychoanalyst and clinical supervisor in private practice in Manhattan, New York, published a paper detailing her encounter with a man who claimed to be possessed by an entity from ancient Middle Eastern lore. Sitting across from her, Danny, a pseudonym used to protect his anonymity, was a successful, handsome, but lonely economist in his 30s whose life was beginning to unravel under the weight of his affliction. According to Danny, the presence typically manifested during heightened states of arousal. In one session, he described in explicit detail a fantasy about a co-worker, an imagined seduction that led to an intimate encounter.
Yeah, they're all about degeneracy. Who owns the porn industry in the US and what are they doing at the wall? Yeah.
But as he finished recounting the story, he confessed something chilling. "It's not me talking," he said. "It's him, the Dybbuk."
Dybbuk. I didn't know about the Dybbuk. Let's find out.
In Jewish folklore, a Dybbuk is a spirit not unlike a jinn, an entity that roams homeless, seeking to possess a living host, often refusing to let go. Jewish mythology frequently links ghosts and spirits to sin and with the ancient Mesopotamian entity Lilith playing a key role in these narratives. While Dr. Atlas ultimately interpreted Danny's affliction as a psychological rather than supernatural as a result of his loneliness, a lingering question remains: what if the entity speaking through him was real and exploiting his loneliness? And if it was real, how does it connect to a broader conspiracy involving a supernatural forces that interact with humans through sexuality? Dr. Atlas wrote that Danny believed that the only way to rid himself of the entity was through rituals found in the Kabbalah, an historic tradition within Jewish mysticism that explores the hidden nature of the universe and the spiritual forces shaping reality. These sacred texts have also been linked to a range of fringe phenomena that may hint at a much broader conspiracy, one involving sex magic, secret societies, and even world domination.
World domination. The J World Order. The Noahide laws. The demons of the Kabbalah conspiracy. The Golem and Dybbuk attacks of the 1500s and 2010s. Yeah, this is going to be interesting.
The Kabbalah has long been associated with historic mysticism, hidden knowledge, and secret traditions, fueling various controversial and fringe theories. From Aleister Crowley to Sean Diddy Combs, many high-profile figures of the 20th and 21st century have been linked to this tradition, either directly or indirectly, often in disturbing ways. While Kabbalah itself is a peaceful, broad, and complex mystical tradition, certain groups and individuals have taken its teachings in cult-like or conspiratorial directions, ranging from bizarre practices to horrors that seem almost Lovecraftian in scale. At the beginning of this episode, we introduced the Dybbuk, a paranormal entity tied to Kabbalistic demonology. While the lore of these beings typically focuses on spiritual possession, individuals and cults familiar with the darker aspects of Kabbalah have expanded their association with summoning demons into far more disturbing territory, as we will see in the next chapter. One of the most famous legends from Kabbalistic tradition is the tale of the Golem, an artificial humanoid being supposedly brought to life through divine knowledge made entirely of clay. The most well-known version of this legend involves Rabbi Judah Loew of Prague, a prominent 16th century scholar and Kabbalist who allegedly created a clay serpent. According to tradition, he uses mystical knowledge inspired by the way God created Adam to animate the creature.
Yeah, he created a monster. God's chosen people. Maybe the US is the golem now.
The word golem comes from Hebrew, meaning incomplete or unfinished, described as a mud figure magically brought to life by its human creator.
On the forehead says emet. In modern Yiddish Talmudic Hebrew, it means truth. Anything but Jesus for these people.
The most famous golem was named Useli. It was said to possess supernatural abilities, including invisibility and the power to summon spirits from the dead.
Invisibility. Wow.
While versions of the story vary, some modern skeptics dismiss the story as an urban myth, while others believe there could be some truth to it.
Oh, no, it's true. Oh, no. It's not a conspiracy anymore.
In the most disturbing accounts, the creature eventually began rampaging through Prague before being subdued. According to legend, the remains of Loew's golem were stored in the attic of the Old New Synagogue, though renovations in 1883 reportedly found no evidence of its existence.
In the attic of a synagogue. Fantastic.
This is just one of several stories involving the creation of golems in Poland and other parts of Eastern Europe, with some accounts dating back to the early 1500s or possibly even earlier. Similar to the surge in Dybbuk possession stories, reports of golem creation appear to have peaked between the 16th and 17th centuries, with additional cases recorded as recently as the 2000s. Researcher John Hartman's 1987 study documented at least 63 Dybbuk possession cases spanning 400 years. This pattern raises an intriguing question. What was happening in Eastern Europe at that time?
109 countries for obvious reasons.
To trigger such a spike in alleged supernatural occurrences? Could the Dybbuks and Golems be part of the same phenomena? Two cases from the 21st century suggest so.
Yeah, God's chosen people were working overtime to unleash all these dark entities, I guess.
Today, the classical image of the golem as a living clay figure has largely faded from discussion, with one of the last famous alleged real accounts occurring in 1800 in Belarus, where the entity reportedly burned down the house it was intended to serve.
Oh, wow. Sounds like AI, doesn't it?
Since then, they pulled him from the bed.
Yeah, I'm definitely not sleeping tonight.
The subject reported actual entities.
Genetic manipulation.
To bring new beings into existence. If these beings are astral entities, their sudden manifestations in the homes of people experiencing intense sleep paralysis could be explained through their lives by unknown individuals. However, if they are merely the products of scientific experiments involving alchemy and genetic manipulation, this brings us back to the themes of the previous episodes, the convergence of technology with what might be called magic in the creation and summoning of entities that could pose a threat to humanity.
Oh yeah, they're definitely going to use technology, all these data centers, surveillance, AI. You know, it's the future.
Some French theorists argue that modern AI and transhumanism movements are unknowingly or even deliberately following ancient Kabbalistic blueprints for artificial life, merging human consciousness with machines.
I spoke too soon.
If true, AI itself could be considered a digital age golem, an artificial servant that once awakened may defy its creators.
It's the one-eyed bad shepherd gathering his flock. That's why they're called flock cameras. Is the bad-eyed, the evil-eyed bad shepherd, evil shepherd. It's a fight between two shepherds.
Even more controversially, some claim that the forces behind AI's rise are not merely corporate titans, but individuals linked to ancient historic traditions, secret societies that see AI not just as a tool, but as a vessel for something beyond human understanding. While this does not implicate all followers of these traditions, it suggests that a select few have twisted their beliefs into something far darker, something known as the Tree of Death, a multiversal threat that challenges the very nature of reality itself. Influential figures, from industry moguls to pop culture icons, may be aware of this, and that takes us back to the golden era of hip-hop in the late 90s and the thriving music scene of New York.
Sex, magic, and the communion with demons.
Figures from this era, Sean Diddy Combs was beginning to gain global recognition.
P. Diddy.
Beginning his professional career as a background dancer, then graduating to record, label intern, and finally peaking as a billionaire mogul in little over a decade.
Who's this man next to him? God's chosen people.
Diddy made powerful connections with business and entertainment elites across.
I mean, look at these people. What do you think? What do you think? Which group of people are these? I mean, look at them.
Across the globe in record time. However, as his influence grew, so did the dark rumors surrounding him. Throughout his career, Diddy has been associated with a series of unfortunate events, ranging from a mass casualty incident at a school in the early 90s to controversial group sessions of an intimate nature in the modern day, where some individuals claim they were coerced into participating in. Now, while most of the more recent charges have yet to be proven or disproven in court, a consistency has emerged amongst the more serious allegations. A disturbing connection to a twisted interpretation of the Kabbalah, an interpretation probably made most famous by the 21st century occultist Aleister Crowley. With at least one accuser stating that Diddy's intimate sessions involving 3 or more people would sometimes be lit with candles, not only have netizens and actual participants noted how ritualistic these gatherings seemed, but producers working for Diddy under his Bad Boy label claimed that recording sessions would sometimes also be candlelit, where ritualistic invocations were chanted by those in attendance. One former hip-hop producer who alleges to have encountered literal spiritual entities while working for Diddy said the following.
We would all be in the studio and it would almost be ritualistic. You know, we would light candles and as the beats are playing, you know, they would be chanting different things over the music alone.
With allegations of non-consensual group intimacy and the invocation of demons, some might draw parallels to the rituals occult societies like the Ordo Templi Orientis are believed to have practiced a century ago. This raises the speculation that Diddy's rapid rise to fame may have had a supernatural component.
Diddy and his orgies was that energy harvesting, and here's the funny thing. You don't have to believe in summoning demons, the occult, in order for the person doing that crazy stuff to actually do it.
Energy harvesting is a real thing, and that's what the Zionists love to do.
So I believe that Diddy would do something like this.
For years, several media outlets have speculated about Diddy's connection to the Kabbalah, though no definitive proof has emerged proving that he is a practitioner.
They all are. They all are. And when they practice that, They're possessed. Madonna did it. So many others. I mean, Rabbi Shmuley was Michael Jackson's rabbi. And then they took him out. Trump has a Kabbalistic rabbi. And Paula White, as well as, his pastor.
One of the most persistent rumors surrounding him is his alleged link to the Kabbalah Center, a prominent organization that teaches Kabbalistic principles and has been associated with various celebrities over the years. And given what we have already covered so far in this episode, where individuals have used the tools of this belief system to summon extra-dimensional entities, we have a theoretical, albeit tenuous, connection to Diddy and those who would warp the belief system to suit their needs. Beyond the alleged invocation of entities during Diddy's parties, recording sessions, and other gatherings, there exists a broader occult belief that taking a life of another living mammal as part of a ritual can lead to significant wealth. Now, this is not a teaching you can specifically find within traditional Kabbalah as far as we are aware, and you can correct us in the comments if we're wrong. Sacrificial communion with supernatural entities is a common trope in various other religious and esoteric traditions. This brings us to the fascinating and controversial figure of Aleister Crowley, a 20th century occultist who was known for his hedonistic lifestyle, much like the rumors surrounding Sean Diddy Combs. While Diddy's involvement with disturbing occult practices remains speculative, since he has denied any and all wrongdoing, Crowley was not only famous for his overindulgent lifestyle, but also for his deep involvement in occult rituals that pushed boundaries, specifically his system of magic known as Thelema. This system heavily incorporated elements of Kabbalah, particularly when it came to invoking supernatural entities.
Egypt too. Fantastic. This is always an interesting topic. The pyramids. They're not just in Egypt, they're around the world. Very interesting, right? And became the Illuminati logo.
Crowley's take on Kabbalah wasn't purely academic. He fused Sufism, Mesopotamian and Egyptian beliefs, and pre-Islamic esoteric traditions into his rituals, shaping what he called magic, a practice of channeling energy from these rites to attain spiritual or material goals. Today, skeptical netizens have accused Diddy of engaging in a modern variation of this practice, if not the exact same. Although we're venturing into speculation and may never fully uncover the extent of Diddy's alleged ritualistic activities, what is intriguing are the striking hedonistic similarities between him and Crowley. Both figures, in their quests for power and transcendence, are said to have physically harnessed energy from their intimate encounters with women and men.
Harvest energy from sexual activities.
Allegedly using it in attempts to communicate with anomalous forces. In 1904, while in Cairo, Crowley's wife is said to have encountered an entity that identified itself as the Egyptian deity Horus. This manifestation is believed to have occurred as a result of the couple's ongoing ritualistic practices, which they had been engaged in up until that point. According to Crowley's Thelema, Horus symbolizes strength and a new spiritual age. While not directly linked to intimacy, Crowley views this strength as a force for spiritual transformation. He believed that once harnessed, it could be used to achieve one's quote-unquote true will, something that can be accessed via ritualized intimacy. Elements of this idea parallel certain hedonistic aspects of Diddy's own reported lifestyle, with the so-called rapper even tweeting about his days-long tantric sessions. While there is a difference between regular tantric intimacy and that of the Thelema, which seems to be more geared towards the supernatural, both individuals, if the allegations against Diddy are true, seem to believe that the harnessing of the energy generated between two or more individuals who are intimate with each other can lead to material wealth.
It's all about wealth, man. Money, money, money. You can't serve two masters.
This theorized cross-section between intimacy and demonology is not the only method for gaining power. As mentioned earlier, blood sacrifices are also seen as a vessel to success.
Blood sacrifices, including the chickens.
And so with this in mind, some social media users have looked back to the beginning of Diddy's career, wildly speculating that a tragic event hosted by him and the late rapper Heavy D in 1991 was the spiritual push that eventually rocketed him to billionaire status. While blood offerings are a common motif within the three Abrahamic faiths, both figuratively and literally, none of these beliefs and their popular offshoots like Kabbalah theologically support the taking of human life in this manner.
I don't know. What they've done in Gaza is sacrificing children to their little g god, and on Epstein Island. And it's one group of people who's doing that today.
In its traditional form, Kabbalah is meant to be a deeply spiritual and mystical branch of Judaism, focused on understanding the nature of God, the universe, and the soul's journey.
We need to understand Hashem. So let's just do all the things that he told us not to do.
It's an esoteric discipline that tries to seek divine wisdom, interpreting hidden meanings in the Torah, and exploring concepts like the tree of life. However, over the centuries, fringe groups, mystics, and occultists have extracted and modified Kabbalah teachings and other Middle Eastern traditions.
I think they are all wicked to begin with, in my opinion.
For their own purposes. Organizations and individuals like Crowley, the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, the Ordo Templi Orientis, and other esoteric groups blended Kabbalah with alchemy, tarot, astrology, demon summoning, and dark ritual magic. Activities alien to the core tenets of the Abrahamic traditions, removing Kabbalah from its monotheistic roots, giving it a more ominous reputation. Although Diddy has never publicly confirmed any association with Kabbalah or Crowley's practices, despite his close friend, yani business associate Jay-Z, often sporting a sweater quoting Crowley's most famous saying, "Do what thou wilt."
Do what thou wilt. Just do whatever you want. Who cares? Yeah, Jay-Z and Beyonce are Luciferians as well. Most artists are. You gotta sell your soul to become that big, by the way.
The central tenet of Thelema. The media has consistently linked him to Crowley. And on a side point, despite the Daily Mail speculating in 2013 that the now billionaire Jay-Z is a member of the Ordo Templi Orientis, the rapper recently denied being a Satanist in response to online speculation.
He is. 100%.
However, rumors of Diddy's connection to Aleister Crowley persist largely due to his close ties with some of Kabbalah's most famous celebrity initiates. Now, aside from financial scandals in Tel Aviv and Los Angeles, and a criminal case involving its founder's son, the Kabbalah Center has remained relatively innocuous over the past 3 decades, mainly attracting celebrities like Madonna and Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher. I already did an episode about Madonna. Next one, Ashton Kutcher. I don't know if you guys know this, but he belongs to the tiny hat community. Did you guys know that? Kutcher. I mean, come on, guys. Kutcher, Kushner, all these, yeah.
Individuals who you will find in Diddy's orbit. However, celebrity connections equidistant to the organization in societies similar to the Ordo Templi Orientis suggests that some may not only be seeking power in this reality, but possibly in other realities and even timelines, bringing us back to Ottoman-era Palestine and the first recorded Dybbuk manifestation. At the beginning of this episode, we introduced Isaac Luria. His interpretation of Kabbalist lore that, even for the rest of us within the Abrahamic traditions, seems overly fantastical. reinforced the groundwork for the cosmic horror later explored by figures like Crowley in their invocations of supernatural forces. Whether true or not, what matters is that they believed it to be true. And Luria believed that the manifestation of these entities, these anomalies like the Dybbuk, were part of a vast cosmic phenomenon spanning multiple dimensions, a phenomenon known as the Qliphoth.
The Tree of Death.
Figures like Aleister Crowley linked physical intimacy to the Qliphothic realm, another layer of space, a world between worlds. They suggested such ritualized intimacy between two or more individuals at the same time via magic could serve as gateways to these shadowy dimensions. This interpretation deviated significantly from traditional Kabbalah and stood in contrast to the Islamic Ottoman era, which, while allowing Jewish mysticism to flourish within its territories, would have rejected such practices.
The transformation of Kabbalah into a vehicle for ritualized physical intimacy likely gained traction in the late 19th century and early 20th century, when secret societies such as the Ordo Templi Orientis, particularly under the leadership of Aleister Crowley, integrated this kind of intimacy into their magic practices.
What a demonic person Crowley was.
This was part of a broader trend among Western occultists, who often reinterpreted Middle Eastern traditions through an Orientalist lens, reframing them in ways that diverged from their original contexts.
Oriental, I always was like Oriental.
Crowley's fascination with Eastern mysticism was typical of his era, mirroring how writers like H.P. Lovecraft incorporated distorted depictions of the Arab and Islamic world into their fictional mythologies.
Oh, they're always obsessed with us.
However, there is a key difference between the two. Lovecraft, for all his xenophobia, was ultimately just a storyteller, weaving fictional tales shaped by his fears and prejudices. Crowley, on the other hand, was not merely an entertainer. He fully believed in and practiced the esoteric doctrines he helped shape, actively influencing real-world occult movements that persist to this day. Egypt played a landmark role in Crowley's development of magic, his utilization of Kabbalah, and spirit summoning. Now, whether or not he actively shared his bed with any locals to achieve these goals is unclear, but if he did it at great risk.
I believe it comes from Egypt and probably Babylon. That's where the practice probably come from. Then it came to Palestine and God's chosen people practiced it. And then it spread to the whole world where those people went.
Thelema, with its ancient Egyptian elements, is straight-up idolatry, or shirk, within Islam and extremely frowned upon. And while some Egyptians may have slept with Crowley for other reasons, they might have thought twice upon learning he had supposedly drawn the attention of a powerful praetor-human intelligence known as Aiwass. A praetor-human intelligence is, by definition, an eldritch anomaly, one that, by Lovecraftian standards, operates on an incomprehensible scale, and by Egyptian Islamic standards, an equivalent to one of the elemental jinn kings. Crowley claimed that after his wife encountered Horus, Aiwass dictated the Book of the Law to him, making it the foundation of Thelema.
Aiwass. Interesting.
To us, according to Crowley's logic, this entity could be interpreted as an abstract manifestation, originating from the Qliphoth realm, or at least something embodying its chaotic forces. Egypt has long been a deeply conservative society, and even in Crowley's time, open displays of anything resembling occult rituals would have had serious consequences. However, like many Orientalists, Crowley had little interest in understanding Middle Easterners on their own terms. To him, Egypt was merely an exotic backdrop for his Thelemic system, not a living civilization with its own religious and cultural traditions. And just as Thelema distorted Egyptian spirituality, certain occult interpretations of Kabbalah, particularly in the 19th and 20th centuries, transformed it into something entirely removed from its Jewish origins. So now, in the late 20th and early 21st century, apart from garnering a cult following in Western pop culture, his ideas can be seen influencing real-world occult movements that utilizes his brand of dark magic. And as it should be clear by now, some of these movements seems to have found their way into the darkest corners of the entertainment industry.
Hollywood. Who runs Hollywood? The tiny hat community.
Bringing us to the topic of Qliphothic magic, one of the darkest forms of mysticism that's now virtually mainstream. This form of magic is tied to esoteric and often forbidden practices, including the summoning of entities similar to the Dybbuk, Golems, and other manifestations linked to the Qliphoth. For practitioners, the goal is typically the pursuit of power, wealth, or influence.
Yeah, that's what they like to do.
In contrast to traditional Kabbalah, which emphasizes spiritual refinement and divine ascent. Qliphothic magic often involves the deliberate inversion of sacred symbols, unconventional rituals, and the invocation of entities associated with the Qliphothic realms, theoretically like the Praeterhuman Awas. Some interpretations suggest these practices could interfere with the soul's passage after death, potentially leading to cycles of entrapment akin to reincarnation, a theory with huge implications we will address later. Like the shaitan or malevolent jinn in Islamic theology, these entities are sometimes described as both gatekeepers of hidden knowledge and unpredictable forces of deception. The Qliphoth itself is sometimes referred to as the Tree of Death.
Most people associate Kabbalah with own versions of godhood.
They want to become God. That's what it's all about.
This is where modern elites enter the wilt.
Do what thou wilt. Just do it. Just do it. You can do it.
Implied that those who understand and manipulate these forbidden forces are not bound by the same rules that govern ordinary people. As previously mentioned, the Kabbalah Center exploded in pop industry and beyond.
You see this? That's Madonna with the Kabbalistic tree of knowledge tattooed on her wrist with the Chot Adom, the red string of the Kabbalah, which many celebrities wear, and politicians, and athletes, and on and on and on. It's from the Kabbalah. It's called Chot Adom, red string. It's in the tiny hat community's religion.
Adopted the Qliphoth path manipulation.
Thank you, Jesus, for protecting me from Hollywood.
Control and dominance.
To bring the Antichrist, Dajjal.
But what if all of rebirth itself?
They want to become God. They're cloning, creating babies and surrogates or whatever they're called. It's all blasphemy. It's all anti-God.
What if...
Interesting.
Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss it.
Wow. What do you guys think? I mean, I thought that was interesting. I didn't know what to expect. It ended quicker than I thought. Whew! A little suspense here with these creatures. But that bukek, whatever it's called. I want to see. What was it called? Bukek? Trying to figure out. Yeah, that was interesting. I never heard about that that creature. Very interesting. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. Make sure you're subscribed to my channels and check out the merch on the oliverootspodcast.com. Watch my film The Colonizer and feel free to support me. I would like to open up the floor for the community. Thank you for tuning in, guys. So what do you guys think about all these Kabbalistic creatures and stories of the past and called conspiracies? What do you guys think? Have you guys heard of all this stuff? Let me know what you think. Yeah, that was an interesting creatures. You know, it's like they're trying to be God. They try to create, they try to know everything. They just want to be God so bad. And AI is definitely going to be used for the beast system and the Antichrist. I believe that. With the surveillance, the Noahide laws of the synagogue of Satan, and the state of the Antichrist with all its advanced intelligence infiltrating the United States government, military, and so forth. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Yeah, I don't know. You know, Revelation 2:9, I know the blasphemy of those that say they are JEWs but are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan. Yeah, those belong to Satan. You know, the Antichrist will not be saved. And you don't bless the Antichrist, you expose him and his demonic book called the Talmud that blasphemes Jesus Christ and says that Jesus is burning in boiling excrement and that his mother, Mary, Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, is a whore. That's what the JEWs believe. Fantastic. After all, they killed Jesus. I think it's gonna rain. I just heard a thunder. Ooh, after this topic. Yeah. Any questions, guys? All right, I don't see any questions. Well, that's what I wanted to share with you today. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Let me know if you guys enjoyed this. Would you like me to do more things like this sometimes? But make sure you hit the like, subscribe, and support your boy on the oliverootspodcast.com. Until next time, Christ is King, and always free Palestine.